Today we're checking out the Bugs 3 from MJX, and this is going to be a budget brushless quadcopter that is able to carry a GoPro. So this is going to be interesting to a few of you out there. And this was sent to me courtesy of LiveTake.com. So let's get into the review and check it out. So as I said, it has these nice brushless motors here. Not exactly sure of the KV and all that, but they are very powerful. It will lift a GoPro. It has a mount underneath here that is included and carries a GoPro or a Yi camera easily, or anything that is GoPro size. And in this mode here, you can also sport fly it. So it is very powerful, flies around really quick, and has a nice look to it. It has this really bright LED on the front and has a really mean sound to it. Has a nice battery. It is a 2-cell, I believe 1800 milliamp hour battery, and 25C 2-cell, and it has the XT30 connector, and it slides in there nice and snug. So nice little package here. Really like this quad. The props are nice on it. They provide nice thrust, and it does come with 4 legs that will attach so that when you mount your GoPro or action camera under here, you can land it safely, and those attach very easily via screws. And let's get into the transmitter. This is going to be fairly standard transmitter from MJX here. A lot of them look like this. This one has the Bugs labeling, has your throttle and your sticks, and the throttle is a little bit loose, so it's kind of easy to like kill your throttle. I do that a couple times in the video. But to start and stop the motors, it's this red button. So push it once and the motors will spin up, and then you kind of hold it to stop it. This is your rates. There's a high and a low rate, and the low rate is powerful enough to fly around easily. And this button here is going to be your flips. So you push the button, give it input one way or the other, and it'll do flips for you, and it recovers from the flips very well. And this button is a camera button, and this is the non-camera version, so that's not functioning with this particular transmitter. It also comes with a camera version, and included were some prop guards, the landing legs, the battery charger, the GoPro mount, and a wrench to take your props on and off. So nice little package here from MJX, and let's get into some of the flight video. So this is going to be the sport flight review of the Bugs 3 here. This is a brushless, inexpensive quad. Has a gigantic battery, 1800 milliamp hour, 2-cell, 25C LiPo with the XT30 plug and your balance plug. That's just gonna sit in here, back here, and I believe this gives you about a 17 minute flight time, and that is accurate. This one will fly basically forever. It flies such a long time that most of the time I don't actually run the battery out. One thing with this one is you had to attach the sticks. They didn't come attached, and they do have a little screw. Apparently I didn't screw that one all the way down, but it is kind of a pain to get those attached, just to note that right there. So I'm going to turn the transmitter on here, and then I am going to get that going. So we are bound, and then there's also a way of calibrating your gyro, and that's both sticks down and to the right here. You see you get the flashing there, and it's gonna stop. So I believe this was the right button. We'll check it in the air. One of them's a flip. We'll figure it out. So we're gonna unlock the motors here, and we're good to go. Definitely be a little more cautious with this one because it is a brushless quad and a lot of power in this. So flies around nice, got the bright LED in the front there. And I'm not going to give this the full flight time like this. I am going to pop a camera on there. This one will lift a GoPro or GoPro-like camera. And this is just the low rate here. This guy flies extremely fast. And this is, again, just the low rate. So let me just So that's the higher rate, and notice the pitch increase there. This one almost has too much of a pitch angle for, you know, to really utilize it. You know, doesn't almost have the pitch to throttle ratio to, you're basically going to go right into the ground if you just full forward pitch this, and the throttle can't keep up with the pitch on this high rate. That's what I'm trying to say. If I could talk. And, you know, obviously look at it gets really aggressive. So let's figure out which one's the flip button. One of them's the camera button, which this is not the camera version, so it's going to be non-functioning. So, okay, so this one closest to the antenna is your flip button. You're going to have to push the button and then give it input whichever way you want it to flip. And while we're here, why don't we just do like a punch out. This one has a lot of power, but oddly enough, it doesn't seem to have super great punch. So 3, 2, 1. I mean, it's okay, but you'd almost expect this one to have a lot more punch out. Honestly, I like flying this around in the lower rate because it's a little bit more controllable. So I'm gonna drop it down the low rate there. It's a little floaty, this quad too, so be aware of that. When you make a turn, it kind of floats after you turn. Maybe if I flew this one a little bit more often, I would get a little bit more used to how this one flies. But yeah, I mean, this is the low rate, and see, in the low rate, even this one's real quick. So let's bring it in a little bit closer, not too close, and show you some flips here. So there's a right roll, left roll, back flip, forward flip, tons of power. The body of this one will catch some wind, so if you're flying this on a windy day, definitely be aware of that. But I mean, it does fly nice. It looks really cool in the air. It has a really mean sound to it, and it can definitely get going. So fly this one in an open field. You're gonna want some space to let this one rip. So I think that's a pretty good demonstration of this guy in the sport mode. Give me another flip there, maybe another one. Whoop, killed my throttle there for a second. That's one thing too, the throttle on this is kinda, doesn't have a lot of tension to it. So be aware of that. Get a shot of this one closer up. Don't want to get too close to this one. This one's got some powerful motors. This one would chew you up if you made a slightly wrong move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount my Yi camera to this, and the mount wasn't exactly designed for the Yi camera. The Yi camera is a little bit too wide, but I kind of jerry-rigged something so I can mount the Yi camera to it, and it has some legs that are going to attach to it. So I'll attach the legs, mount the Yi camera, and I'll bring this one back out for a flight to demonstrate this one carrying a GoPro-like device. So that's how you're going to lock the blades there. Unlocks them and locks them again. You kind of hold it down. So if you push it, it starts them up, and you're ready to take off. Just to demonstrate that again, going for a landing, and hold it down until you hear the beep, and that's going to kill your motors. And always unplug the quad. That's what happens when you get the loss of signal with the transmitter. So let's get the camera mounted under here and get the legs on it and give it another flight. So here I am with the bugs with the Yi camera attached. This is going to be the action cam review. Will it lift the Yi camera? We are recording on the Yi camera. So let's turn on our transmitter here, plug in our XT30 connector here. You get the da-da-da-da, then this will beep at you. I am gonna calibrate the gyro here, I think. And that seemed to work. So I'm going to unlock the motors by pushing them like that. And away we go. And there it is. Yi camera mounted. So those of you looking for a cheap solution that will carry a GoPro, there you go. Let's go up and see what we can see. And maybe not the best solution the way I got the Yi camera mounted here, but the case was not designed to carry the Yi camera. It was more of like a GoPro, and the Yi camera is slightly wider than a GoPro. So we're gonna give it a little forward pitch here and just kind of move around the park a little bit. Give you some shots of like maybe the cornfields or whatever. I don't want to go too far. And I never suggest you go. A lot of questions get asked about how far will this go, how high can it go. Legal limit is 400 feet, first of all. And second of all, with these, this is basically just a toy grade transmitter. So you're not going to want to test the range on it too much. And we're getting a nice little shot of the park here. Maybe I'll just kind of bring it out here. Not exactly sure if you can see the landing legs. This is actually my first flight with the Yi camera attached. I've been mostly sport flying, which I feel like this is what this was kind of intended for, was more of a sport flight quad. But it definitely can carry the action cam, got a lot of power. Would not recommend doing any sort of flips or anything like that while you got your action camera attached. So there it is in the air, and this one, you know, it's a calm day. Hands off the sticks, ascending slightly there, but obviously no GPS or anything like that, no return home, I don't think, with this quad, but it doesn't have GPS, so it's not going to be an accurate return to home anyway. And just over $100 for this quad, I believe, and pretty good value for something that'll carry an action camera. Let's bring it slow input that way. The only other drawback is you don't really see what you're shooting with this, so definitely a con there. I mean, if your action camera has some sort of Wi-Fi capability, you could link up with the app, but I wouldn't recommend it because that's operating on the same frequency as your transmitter. And you might be okay, you know, 9 times out of 10, but it's that 9th time that's definitely going to get you. So be aware of that. But it is kind of cool that you can mount one of these action cams to this quad, and should be getting a shot of me here. Let's do a little flyby. Hello, hello. And again, this one gives you a great flight time. So a lot of people looking for a quad that'll carry a GoPro or something like that, and nice long flight times. This is going to be your quad here. Also fairly inexpensive, but I'd be a little bit wary of the range on this quad, as I said, and no GPS. Doesn't have a gimbal. You might be able to like rig a light gimbal to this if you're crafty like that, but obviously it doesn't come with a gimbal. So be interested to see how this footage comes out, if there's jello in it or whatnot. Didn't have like the best mounting options. Fairly secure on there, but I don't want to make too many sudden movements because I'm not 100% sure that's attached all that great. So there you go, guys. Little MJX bugs. Again, this was sent to me courtesy of Litake.com. I want to say thanks again to Litake for sending me this one for review. Not a bad flyer, and pretty versatile. You can sport fly it, you can attach a camera to it. I guess if you're daring, you could sport fly it while the camera's attached to it, but I'm not going to do that. I don't want to wreck my Yi camera. And you get a nice long flight time out of it. So definitely a good value here. And I definitely recommend it if you're looking for something cheap. You don't want to spend the money on a DJI Phantom. Even the standard, you know, the standard coming in at what, like $300-400 these days? I'm not exactly sure. And then you got the Mavic and the Spark is now out actually too. So you got a lot of options there, but they're all much more expensive than this one. So obviously the quad's, not sure the exact price, you know, slightly over $100, and obviously you're going to need an action cam to mount to it, so that's going to be an added expense. There is a version that does come with a camera, I believe, so if you're interested, definitely check that one out. Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys with some flying here, some views of the park, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks again to LiTake. Send me some requests. What do you guys want to see? You want to see some quads reviewed? You want to see some flight videos? You want to see FPV? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. As always, thanks for watching.